leadership and organizational culture. I'm Ryan McCarty.
And I'm George Rogers. Together, we're here to guide you on a journey of personal and professional growth. Every week, we bring you insights, stories, and strategies to help you and your company thrive in today's dynamic world.
So whether you're leading a team, running a business, or just eager to make a positive impact, you are in the right place. Let's jump right into today's show and champion a culture of purpose and passion. Welcome to Champion Your Culture. Hey, George.
Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Champion Your Culture.
Howard. Sure good. Good. It's been a while. We've been traveling for a while now, and we've got some exciting
the Community Impact Awards and all the companies that are awarded for 2024, visiting them, getting off the trophy, saying how amazing they are. There's a lot of companies that we're connected with that really care about their community, and so that's been great. It's been really cool.
Great. You've been traveling, seeing your daughter, Boston. Your daughter's doing all this DJ over here, designing commerce, and it's incredible stuff. Wife got that, still splashing and dashing, and doing great things. And so, family's been a good thing. One of the things I really love about the summertime, and we want to thank everybody for joining us again. We took a few weeks off, kind of have some little throwback videos over the course of the last couple of weeks on our social media, just kind of keep everything touching. We're back live, and so we want to thank all the audience for joining us in. I hope you're enjoying your summertime. We have been enjoying our summertime and been able to travel, doing all this fun stuff, but also some cool stuff in between. What's kind of like been the highlights so far of your summer, whether it's personal, business, like you experienced something, concert, a movie?
I mean, definitely this past weekend, seeing Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago perform together.
Nice.
So they did separate sets, and then they came together for like 4 songs at the end, which was like mind-blowing. And I think a lot of it for this summer has just been taking time to be grateful in the moment. And regardless of whether it's like the mind-blowing concert or sitting outside enjoying nature, just being there. But this summer's been great. How about for you?
It's been good. I've traveled a lot, and I think one of the things for me is having a summer where we don't have any kids sports. Busy for no reason. I don't want to say no reason, but just busy.
It is.
Like we're just kind of functioning off of that. So it's like work, but then there's no relaxation. So like this summer has been me just watching Dexter and his friends, cul-de-sac kids, do their thing, and just relax. I've had nothing but opportunities to enjoy my favorite thing, which is peace and quiet, scenery. I'm looking at you, I'm not really looking at you, I'm looking at this huge plant. So about 4 or 5 months ago, we had a duck and geese. It was geese, not duck. We had some geese, mama goose and the babies in the flower pot. And now, dude, it's like a beautiful big old flower pot. It's like
nature all around us.
It's crazy. So I enjoy the nature, being able to relax. I've too have gone through a few concerts. Friday, so Saturday you were at Earth, Wind, and Fire. Friday, Dexter. It's been a 4-year journey to get Dexter to dance. They sing this song called Speechless. It was one of the first songs that Dexter learned as a kid. And he used to say, eat this. He couldn't say speechless, it was eachless. So he finally got to see them, and it was cool because they set up a set pop-up stage right in front where he was like right there, and they switched sides, so he got to see both of them and give high fives and all that. So, like for this summer, it's really been with me traveling as much as I have been, seeing the joy on Dexter's face brought me so much peace and excitement. I now understand what moms and dads have felt when they say, "Man, it's just so good to see my child doing something they enjoy." And Dexter just enjoys it. He enjoys life. He enjoys music. He has a little business.
That's the biggest thing, man.
That's been going on there. He just got his $50 bills mailed from California for somebody who heard about what he was doing, and so special braces to that person. And then 50% of all the money they have is going towards the Children's Hospital here in Indiana. So very exciting. The next generation where there's this stigma of their, their work ethic and like their empathy and compassion. You can see that it's still there.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah, yeah.
like it's there. We just choose to not either see it and or develop it.
Well, I think every generation
Yeah.
work ethic. I think if you, like, read over the decades, no generation was like, "Oh my god, this next generation coming up works so much harder than we did."
Yeah.
Because you live in your own reality of what hard work means
Right.
and what hustle is and what it means to be, like, pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I mean, there's other generations before us that look at you and I and be like, "They don't even know what work looks like." So it's like one
Not
of
the
those
real
things,
stuff.
like, yeah, and work is changing. The like Dexter and his friends being entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
you know, most most jobs moving forward, a lot of that's gonna be freelance, right? A lot of it's gonna be entrepreneurial. And even in the workplace, it feels very much resonant to, an entrepreneurial idea when you get into work. I've worked with companies that still call themselves a startup, and they've been going for, like, 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, we've been around for a while, but we're still a startup. Like, we're not a startup, but I get it because, the ability to be agile in the moment, uh, have that kind of, like, entrepreneurial mindset where you're able to be innovative and to tackle problems that a lot of companies, or the company that you work for may have never faced before, you know? Especially with just the dynamic of the workplace. Yeah, it's really cool to see, like, the younger generation taking the initiative in their own way, make their own money. And also say, maybe it's not just hard work that makes money.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people that work a lot harder than a lot of other people, and the people doing the most hard work
Yeah.
are not making the most money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the case. Whether it's hard work physically, like physical labor, or
Yeah.
sometimes the stress. I mean, I feel like the kids are going. Next goes back to school next week,
Yeah.
right? Next week, yeah. And I'm thinking they had a good 2 months off, but one of those stressful jobs is dealing with the kids that are trying to get. And then they defend their kid when the
Yeah.
kid gets in trouble. I was a kid. I always got in trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, George will act like that. And I'm like, of course, Mom.
I just think it's interesting is, like, you'll have an owner that's on the golf course on a Tuesday with other owners about how this generation does.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, yeah, it's just a special idea what you're doing in terms of allowing, and not just allowing, but giving ability to Dexter and his friends, and also, like, giving guidance around that as well, and
Yeah.
creating, like, "Hey, think of it this way. Also, you got bills to pay on." Right?
These,
Start charging them rent.
these good looks and go pay the bills. I was at SHRM conference in Chicago. Shout out to all the HR people that were there that I met. And we talked. There was a gentleman that I met, Tony Buff, with Upward.
Yeah.
And so shout out to him. One of the things that caught my attention is talking about radio and Facebook is I saw him in the audience. I'm like, he has face for TV, and I thought it was Tony Gonzalez at first. Like, cool, come to see that, right? But no, just thinking about all these different people that we've seen, one of the things that stands out, mine, is the same question: like, what are you hearing right now? Because we have been traveling, we've been talking over the last few weeks with a lot of different people. What's something that you're hearing a lot of? Me, one of the things that was great. One of the things people are desiring, especially I heard it at SHRM so many times, is development.
Yeah.
Like we're at the stage where we've talked about it, we've put out these videos, and so that was good. One, because that's something that we're very passionate about, whether it's culture, workplace culture development, whether it's leadership development. That's something that we're both passionate about both. So that was something, and obviously this AI. What is it? That was how we use it. And one of the things that came out of that conference that really stuck out was AI is not going to take over people. It's going to be people that use AI going to take over people who are not adapting to use it. So a great thought there. But what's something that you've been doing in the workplace? In the networks, what the companies, whatnot?
Yeah, I definitely think the upskilling, right? That there's a need for, as as we're advancing in automation and robotics and AI, whatever else, even just day to day, that companies, as we know, the development side of it, but specifically for frontline management and those that are not yet leading teams, but have the potential to be promoted and lead a team, that we're developing our emerging leaders, those that are going to be the leaders of the future, right? So as a company expands, we have mergers and acquisitions, we need more and more of a leadership culture.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing a lot of the development side on that piece of it that has to do with specifically those employees that have the potential to lead but haven't yet been empowered. So that's a definite. Also, something that pertains to what we do a lot is still the conversation around what we're going to talk about today, and that is culture. But how how we are utilizing the impact of what we do out in the community together
Yeah.
as a way to like share what type of company we are. That we're not just another business with products and solutions, but we're a company that cares. And so kind of the rehumanizing of that experience for people. So the conversation today pertains very much around that.
Yeah.
That's really what kind of led into it. Segue
Yeah.
to this
That's
conversation.
great. So let's talk about why culture marketing matters, like impact, and dive into it. 'Cause I think that sharing the story, right?
Yeah,
We talk about storytelling a lot when we're doing our cohort
yeah,
for our culture champions. But what truly matters to the company?
that's
Because
it.
ultimately, we always see what companies
Yeah,
do, and the community, the customers, they rarely get to see how are you doing this,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I showed the example of Dexter, what he's doing, but there's a why behind it.
yeah,
And that comes from my heart. Hey, don't just have a purpose, have a reason why. Tell that story because people want to be connected to good things.
yeah. And I love that idea because we don't want to just market.
Yeah,
And this is really more conversation than just marketing. This is to HR peeps out there. This is to leaders that are leading teams because all of us are able to be a part of this idea of storytelling around our culture
yeah,
that matters to us as a business. That's what I would say is a really good question to start. What matters,
yeah,
right? As you're thinking about your culture, as you're thinking about your values, your mission, even if it just feels like a statement right now. What truly matters to you? What's the heartbeat of your business? We talk about culture being the soul of the company. That it's how most people feel, believe, and behave most of the time. So we're through our storytelling efforts are attempting to get people to feel something, right? It's that sense of, I want people to feel what we feel when we go to the community, when we do good. To your point, there's a why. Well, people need to not only see the why or hear about the why, they need to feel the why. When we talk about marketing, it's more than just marketing your products and solutions. It's giving people an opportunity to feel your why.
yeah. It's that human
Yeah,
behind the
yeah,
corporate
that's it.
feeling, right? It's like there's the actual George and Ryan
Yeah,
behind culture of good. There's actual people behind it,
yeah,
and their heart and their soul. It's everything that's behind it, right? Bringing your soul to work and showing that to others. I think about the power and the impact that it has, the benefits of culture marketing, right? Marketing, we talk about retention all the time. How do you we talk about recruiting? We had one of the on
right.
on our podcast a month or so ago.
Yeah,
The beauty of the impact, the dynamic of being human, more than just a job, more than just a company and a corporate brand, but really showcasing the gifts, the talents, and the hearts and passions behind each and every individual.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That we are the same in some ways, but we're different a lot.
yeah.
And how you tell the story, big picture,
I love that.
it's so impactful. I just think that what it does, like I want to go work with. There's a reason why I joke a lot of times with my friends that I'm close, and I talk about it with HR tech companies all the time where I'm like, man, I love that heart. I
Yeah,
want to work for you.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
there's a part of me that's been silly. There's a small part, maybe some cases, depending on the company. There's a large part. Like, I really want to connect with. Like if
yeah,
I was in the need, I would. That's who I want to connect with
yeah,
because it's more than just what they do.
yeah,
Their purpose
yeah,
is people. Their purpose is community, and they're sharing that purpose within HR tech. Right? It's like
yeah.
we know that you're a software company. You probably just want to use your
Well,
software,
software, right? What a,
but this is why I want you.
what
This is what
else?
we get to do
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
This is what we want you to do.
yeah,
Right? Asking those passionate questions
yeah.
that really
Get,
stir the
getting to
roots.
getting to know,
Yeah.
and that's the difficulty sometimes with marketing because you can only, you can only share so much in a campaign,
Yeah.
right? But we're talking about more than just a campaign. We're talking about, you know, tapping into your employee base and having conversations and more than just sharing like, this person's worked here for so many years, like sharing what they love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like giving people an opportunity to share the good stuff.
Mhm.
We can all jump on Glassdoor and see why your company's
Right. Yeah.
it's like having a bunch of your exes give you reviews on how great of a dater you were.
Yeah.
It's like, of course they're gonna shit on
Yeah.
but also like there's a narrative that can be had that I think is really important to capture. And that is to find these cultural stories that are good stories to tell. Just in a general sense, if you look at society, you can always find bad things to share.
Mhm.
It seems like the news is like a lot of bad and like 2 minutes of good at the very end.
Yeah.
It's
If
like
if
if they have time
if they have time.
or found a good story to share. That's not what builds that viewership. But when it comes to businesses, what we do in culture marketing is we tell the good stories, right? And it's not in a sense that let's cover up the bad, share all the good, because we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. But we think about the benefits. We're looking at, okay, am I making authentic connection both internally with my employees through my culture marketing and also to my customers, vendors? Are those authentic connections being made where, to your point, we show the human aspect of the business? And that's where we have that authentic connection with people when we're looked at as more than a company, that we're looked at as human beings, individuals that care together. Collectively, we have this mission, we have values, we do our best to live up to them. Are we perfect? No. We never present ourselves as a perfect culture,
Perfect-ish.
Perfect
At best.
at best.
That's still a strive.
But your culture, I've said this since I started at culture. Your culture is your greatest advantage, and because of that, it can be also your greatest risk. Because if you don't know your culture well, which means knowing your people, people make up the culture. If
Mhm.
you don't know your people well, if you don't know what they care about, what they're passionate about, if you've not tied your company's purpose into the passion of employees, then there's a tremendous miss there. But when you can humanize the experience, that's your competitive advantage. If you and I both, okay, so for instance, you used to own uh, wireless repair stores, correct?
Yeah.
And so phones, if my phone was broke, I would come in and I would say, George, can you help with this? And one of your employees would fix it and change it all up and everything else. If I own the same type of store, the same strip mall next to you, right? I had a wireless repair store and you had a wireless repair store. And I'm a customer or a customer walks up, both of us can fix the phones about the same price, but on one side, you have a company that cares about the community, they've been involved in doing good, they have impact,
Yeah.
and you're just over here fixing phones.
Right.
Now, we both can fix phones, but one of us has a heart,
Yeah.
in a sense. We both have hearts, but one of us is storytelling.
Yeah.
And that becomes a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
It's really important to differentiate your brand by something.
Yeah.
And most people say, well, we're different because we have great customer service. If everybody says that, then no, there's no differentiator.
Yeah.
So what is it about your culture that stands out to you? What is, why does it stand out in your community? How are you telling that story? Because it really doesn't matter what you're doing if you don't have the capacity to translate that to sharing stories or to drawing interest into what you do.
hmm
So, yeah, I think one of the other benefits is definitely the advantage it gives your company.
Yeah, yeah. You say it can be your greatest
Risk.
risk
Yeah.
and advantage, but
Yeah.
it can also be your greatest disadvantage. I think about those pitfalls to avoid because for most companies who may, try to have that competitive advantage, but what happens when I, I heard this definition of culture, good friend of ours, Chaz, and Julie, it's the mood when you walk into the mood, it's the vibe, right? Which is how people feel. So it all comes down to the circle. But I think about some of those pitfalls that a lot of people have, right? Where they have their cameras on, they're doing this, and when the cameras are off, it's a everybody's mood changes. It's not authentic. It's not real, right? It's that fake it till you make it mentality. Like, hey, let's show people that we care, but how do we care? Right?
Yeah.
And to some people, and I'll say this: there are some companies who care. Right? One of the things I love about the community award that we have is that it's not about writing a check because a lot of people can write a check. I can write a check for a penny right now
Yeah.
and make a difference in somebody's life overseas. Right?
Right.
I can make a difference by sending a $10 check.
Yeah.
Some people send $1,000. Some people sign $1 million. But it's being boots on the ground. It's how are we getting our hands
Actual impact.
impacting this thing? And so we talk about the authentic advantage it has. Those are the benefits. Some of the pitfalls that you have to
It's
avoid
inauthentic.
is when you're inauthentic.
Well, yeah, what percentage of people Photoshop their LinkedIn profile?
Yeah.
25%.
Yeah, I was thinking whether or not that picture was really real, right? We talk about catfishing
No, that's what I'm
in the
saying.
dating scene. I mean, there's a lot of pieces of catfish as well.
Like, I've been catfished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the image.
Yeah.
You see the view of the marketing looks one way, but once you actually get into the culture, it's entirely different.
Yeah.
Sometimes that disconnect from what leadership sees their culture and their frontline employees, how they live
Yeah.
in the culture. You know? And so, when we think about having an authentic storytelling, which can alienate those customers that are really knowledgeable or employees that know about the culture, and people start to catch on. So they cat again, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And I mean, and I'll say this because there are a lot of companies that are, there's no perfect company. You say, because there's humans involved.
Yeah, right.
There's no perfect human. Like we all make mistakes and we get that. There are some companies that do strive to do great. They have downfalls. Maybe they roll out something wrong, or they don't have great change management,
Yeah.
process, things of that nature. We're specifically talking about those who are really not being
Toxic culture,
really toxic.
market it. If it's not toxic, then you got an issue.
Yeah.
'Cause people can see through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like your kids when they're real small, they're like, "Can you go to McDonald's now?" Like, why? 'Cause we going home because we gotta do this, and they look at you like they know you lying. You just don't want to take it to McDonald's.
You go
Like,
home, you go sit
people
down.
like,
What are you talking about before, huh?
my girls can read, employees can read right through. If it's inauthentic,
Yeah.
they can read right through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we also get a pitfall of over promotion. Where it's like we're just continuing to push and push and push. And it's more doing good in the community simply for marketing,
Yeah.
or we're doing it for promo.
Yeah.
Writing the check, we're taking a picture in front of the employee saying, "Yeah, work for us. We give back to the community." And it almost feels like we're doing some stuff in these culture efforts simply for the promotion of those things, not because we actually care about people's well-being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not doing these culture things because we care about our employees. Sometimes, companies are promoting their culture because they just try to recruit more of them,
Yeah.
not because they care about the ones they have.
That's good.
When you promote your business, your culture to get more employees that you're not going to care about, that's over promotion.
Well said. Well said. I also think in this way as well, when it comes to over promoting, and maybe it's something that you can strive for in organizations. You talk about big check mentality, right? What we're seeing a lot, especially in research, is and we see it as people within the workplace who want to be a part of. I recall, and I won't say where the company. I'll try to leave names out, and if I say the name, it's not you. So don't post it on social media that it was you. But there was a time, there was a situation where a company was given, and employees felt like, we're giving all this money.
Mhm.
And what's the first thing that goes when you're not connected, when you're not working, or you're not there at the event? You see the same people standing on stage, the recognition, but you that put hard work and made profits. Like that's part of the storytelling that has to continue internally. So there's a part of this where culture marketing has to be done internally as well. The dynamic that changes from this mentality that I'm talking about is the employee is so frustrated. Like, one, why don't we just take the money and pay our people better?
Yeah, yeah,
Within a year, pay didn't change, pay scale didn't change. The difference was employees were attached to the check. It wasn't just a check; they were taking,
yeah,
they were working,
yeah.
right? And nothing changed as far as pay. But you know what mattered most? Glad I was a part of it,
Right.
right? And so, like the check mentality is great, and we're not saying stop giving. What we're encouraging and why culture marketing matters is that when employees are connected to it
Yeah,
all the way through it, right? And they understand the why. More importantly, hey, we're going to be donating. The more money we make, the more we're going to give to a cause,
yeah,
right? Any of the topics of causes are what's important to you as an employee. Those are opportunities that you can take when you talk about marketing, right? When you talk about marketing strategy, how does this connect all of our stakeholders
yeah,
together, right?
yeah.
I want to encourage companies, those who are listening, you're thinking about this culture marketing and how it works. I want you to think of it as a strategy from top to bottom. And the most important thing that I believe Ryan and our hearts are is that it should always be attached to those who are working, your employees. Let them be a part of this story. Let them be a part of telling this, right?
Well,
And
you
being a
have
part of why.
meaningful stories and you have meaningful experiences. Like you have to write this. Like part of the leadership, like what you do is you help to build these experiences so there are stories to tell. Like to your point, it's not just on the back end. Let's figure out what we got to tell stories about, but how can we involve our employees more in this experience,
Mhm.
more in the culture, more in the giving back, more in the values of the business? How do we value the values? It seems like one of the values that most companies need to have is their values.
How do you value the how do you live these out?
Right. And
How, how's this part of our
and then how do we capture those stories in meaningful ways? They're compelling, that move me in a way. You know what I'm saying? Where it's more than just a scheme. It's more than just a promotional PR effort. Really authentically how we want to be known as a company, how we want to be remembered when someone interacts with our employees and they're a customer, they walk in the door and they leave. How do we want that customer to remember that experience? We have empowered our employees to connect authentically. Have we empowered them to give back authentically in meaningful ways that move, that inspire? You said it, the internal aspect of marketing, where we're sharing these stories internally as well. I think
yeah.
there's an awesome opportunity, with culture marketing to galvanize our employees around common shared experiences, shared impact, and shared purpose. And those are opportunities to capture those stories. You have to have really good storytellers to be able to say, how is this being shared on our website, right? If we know potentially up to 90% of people, the first thing they're going to click if they go to our website, and not a lot of people go to websites anymore,
Yeah.
but when they do, they're going to click on About Us. If I click on your About Us page, can I see your culture? Can I feel your culture? Do I know what's happening in the heart and soul of what you do? You know, that's so important, man.
That's funny. I was talking to one of our previous guests, Darren Michael, with Qualify. Shout out to that. I'm so happy that I met somebody, a mutual friend that I met, and made me go back to his website. I don't know if you went to the website. One thing I love is their about page. You go to their team, if you click on their team, it's a professional page of Darren. And then if you click on it, it's a silly picture, right? Or it's something that he's passionate about. One of the workers is a young lady, she's there, and then all of a sudden she has headphones on. She loves music, right? It tells a different story. So to your point, like if I go to your about page, and I'm not saying go out there and make your web page fancy like that. That was a dope about page. It was something different. I feel like as I clicked on all 12 to 15 people, I got to know them in just 5 seconds of just clicking my mouse over their page, seeing what was different about them. Seeing if I can remember who loved music, who was reading, who was doing something activity. It was just kind of something different. Telling that story. I want to jump into maybe let's get 3, 4, 5, no more than 5 because 5 is a lot. At least 4, 4 to get you to the door. 4 to get you to the door. There's steps to designing because we can give a bunch of strategies. Right. I want to give some takeaway here for people, and then maybe we can end it with examples of community award winners for 2024. Community award winners, sponsored by Culture Good. We can talk about those. Let's jump into steps to, let's say, design, not just a strategy for culture marketing, but I want it to be efficient. Right. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I want it to be truly efficient. Where do we start? What would be the first starting
Really, we've been talking about if you do a culture audit or just look at your culture marketing audit, you can just look at how your marketing is in terms of what are the avenues and methods that you use for marketing currently. We talked about the website, social media. Uh, some companies have email blasts that go out. We have, you know, messaging inside of stores, messaging in different ways. So kind of looking at the full scope of our marketing efforts. And this is marketing teams, culture teams, those that are involved in storytelling within the business, just audit of all of that and saying, is this telling the story well? If I were a customer, if I went in, put my customer shoes on, would I know what matters most to us as a business? Right? That's a good culture audit, right? Because you talked about from the beginning what matters to us.
Yeah.
Culture marketing says this is what matters to us or what matters most to us, right? So if when we do an audit and we just really sit down and look at all the aspects of how we communicate our culture, how we communicate to our customers, to our employees internally, and also externally, if we were to do that audit, what's the narrative? What is the story being told? And do we need to change, shift, pivot some of our messaging so that it amplifies the narrative of what matters?
So a culture check, a culture checkup,
Yeah.
is important. So first one, culture audit. Make sure that you are reflecting your employees look like, identify, and align with your core values.
Yeah.
With your mission, with your purpose, and what you do, but also why you want to do it.
And once you take all of that and it's mapping it to the right segment of audience, right?
So number 2 is
so culture audit to culture mapping.
All right.
Right. So once we're doing culture mapping, that allows us to segment. We do it within our 2-day certification, right? Our 2-day culture champion certification talks about your stakeholders, right? Your key stakeholder profiles, and so you're segmenting those profiles to be able to map the culture marketing specifically to say, okay, for our customers, right from the beginning, there needs to be a piece of education, right? We need to educate our customers on what matters to us, what is our culture, right? So there's some but we may not have to do that internally. So we need to segment the culture marketing to specific profiles so that we're saying the right messaging to the right in the right moment to the right person.
So so that's I want to be relevant.
Yeah,
Because
to
if
the
you're
right
not relevant, there's no engagement.
to the right people.
Or if you just put out something out there just to put it out, and there's not a lot of touch.
Yeah.
If there's a purpose behind it, where I'm speaking directly to my clients, right? So we're talking about the stakeholders. I'm speaking directly to my customers. I'm speaking internally to my employees.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to my community. What's that? Be relevant. That's because of the relevancy, there will be engagement.
Yeah.
If there's not relevant, there won't be engagement. So you want to be relevant with your messaging, making sure that your audience is specifically focused on what you're doing. So yeah, culture audit. Once we go through that audit to ensure that this culture checkup, we go to a culture mapping.
Yeah.
That's number two. What's the next strategy? The efficient, effective strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. Number three, using empowerment and inclusion.
Mm.
So this is where we've audited, right?
Yep.
We know what our messaging needs to be. We've mapped it. We know what our message, who our messaging is for, and then we have the empowerment and the inclusion, and we're doing the culture marketing with. This is including our customers, the diversity of our experience, the diversity of our workforce, and being able to tap into our employees and say, hey, include you in on this culture marketing. This is one of the things that I think of companies like in South Bend, Elkhart area, and up in northern Indiana. They do a really good job at tapping into. So they have a lot of social media out there. You can go on Lippert and check their stuff out. They make RV components and boat components and different things. And but what's beautiful about the business is many times I know more about their impact on their community than I even do about the product because they tap into their employees who now are passionate about this feeling that they have at work. That is the culture, right? The mood. They're involved in giving back and doing good. So because of that, it shows diversity of experience and it shows an inclusion of everybody's stories collectively. This isn't just the company telling the company story. The company giving space and agency to people to share their story and the impact that working in this business has had on themselves, on their family, on their community, right? So I think, having the ability to include and empower our employees in the storytelling process is number three.
That means our contribution matters.
Yeah.
We're part of that, right? So I think that's what I get when I hear the stories of other people. The company is not the same. Right? Because when VP of sales typically does it, they're trying to sell. Right? We kind of get that expectation. They're trying to sell us something. But when you have your frontline employees telling their contribution to the other stakeholders, right?
Yeah.
To your community that you not really tapped into.
You say it all the time. Your salespeople are your people.
Everybody's a salesperson, right? The janitor's trying to sell clean room, office, in a space. Everybody is selling.
Everybody's recruiting too. They're either recruiting or they're doing what would be the opposite of
recruiting. Right? So you got recruited people can bring them in and
but even those that are like, but if your employees are satisfied, they're going out and doing the opposite of recruiting. They're telling, well, I'd never work. And their friends are like, well, why do you work there? And they're like, well, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
You don't want people going home feeling like they're stuck working. You want people to have a sense that, this is work. This is a job. Sure, I'd rather be out on a lake fishing right now than I'm at work. And it's work. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to ever stop being work. But I can't love what I do every day. And if I don't love it every day, I can also love who I'm working with, and that makes a difference as well. Because some days I'm not going to love what I do.
You work with?
I love, yeah. But if you have both, you don't love what you do, and you don't love who you're working with, and you don't love who you're working for, then you got an issue, right? So it's that. It's like, giving people the opportunity to really share the growth that they love about the business. I think Lippert does a good job at that. Uh, JA Benefits is another company that stands out to me that we work with and have worked and uh, partnered with, and I've done some workshopping with them. Shout out to JA. They put their culture forward.
Yeah.
Their culture forward. They market their heart. You know what they're about because you read their storytelling.
Yeah.
You interact with them. You have a conversation with them, and you know it's authentic.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, effective strategy for those who are looking to say, how do we design this culture marketing? Number one, do a culture audit. Check out with your team, your employees, make sure that stories have been told and that they're true, that they are the identity of your people. The worst thing you want to have go out there is marketing and then employees are commenting or ex-employees are commenting, right? Because they will, and or they may not have to comment. The worst thing they can do is just verbally talk about it, right? One positive impact can bring 3 to 5 people. One negative impact can lose you 10 to 20.
Yeah.
So making sure that you do a culture audit, that you do a culture content map to emphasize the importance of this. You want to make sure that the right audience is getting the right material so it's relevant and there's engagement with that. Then you want to empower and have inclusion, right? Being able to not just delegate these small, I don't want to do tasks, but really truly empower and turn over that responsibility and that role and expectation to that. And we shout out Lippert, JA Benefits, companies that we know. As we end this today, I think the most important thing out of all these now, the checkup is important. Okay? But to make sure that you're doing this consistently.
Yeah.
The final step in the strategic, it should be the final step in everything. Any strategy that you can do, sales strategy, marketing, business, whatever it is, consistent. What do you listen? Yeah. You lose people.
Right.
People start doubting, and the worst people that start doubting are the people that's inside the building.
Yeah.
Right? You can fool a lot of people on the outside,
Yeah.
but there's those people internally that say, "Man, that's not real." I think about Matt Johnson when he was resigning from the Lakers. He's like, "I ain't gonna be here."
Yeah.
Like internally,
Yeah.
like employees are like,
Yeah, and they know it. And again, that's the worst thing you could do is say you're something that you're not. The best thing you can do is to be something that you're proud of and then tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But be it before you be before you talk. You know what I mean? Like allow your actions to speak, but not just your actions to speak for you. You also have to speak for you. And actions do speak louder than words, but you have to have some words involved as well. It's within culture marketing, your action should be there before you market it out, right? And so consistent messaging, I love that. So the fourth thing, the fourth power is that consistency that has to do with, everything aligned. We've done the audit. We have the right content, going to the right people, involve our employees. They feel empowered. It's showing the inclusion. And we just stay as a consistent message. Right. We look at everything that's being said and we say, is this consistently telling the story of what we're most proud of about our culture?
Yeah.
That's what I would end with is saying, what are you most proud of? And when you look at your business, when you look at where you work, if you're a leader where you work, over teams, what are you most proud of with your team? What are you most proud of that your team did together collectively?
Yeah.
Does anyone else know that? I work with companies all the time, and we'll go through this community impact award piece and start listing all the stuff that they've done, and we'll talk to other employees and say, "Well, I didn't know we did that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we gave back that way. I didn't know we had an opportunity to be involved in giving back and doing community good. I didn't know that about our culture, right?" And so it's like, is that messaging consistent enough where employees, coworkers, customers, and your community are saying heart and soul of your business? I love to think of it as like a heart. When you have really good, consistent consistent heartbeat, that's a good thing. You don't want the fluttering heart or the heart that kind of misses a beat. You know about that, you know?
Yep.
It's really important to have that consistent heartbeat that people can see, feel, and hear the rhythm of, so that when they do, it resonates with them. It's relevant to them. They say, "Oh, that's my heartbeat too. Or I care about that. I care about I give back." Or, my family member works there, and now I know the culture is healthy. Like, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
When I think about Brenna, where she works, at Converse, like, I'm just like, I feel good when she talks about the culture there, because it's the healthy parts of it are really, really awesome, and that makes me feel good as a dad. So, like, when I think about it, it impacts more than just like the person you're marketing. It impacts their day. It impacts their family member, their friend. Like, when we tell stories really well, it really does have a ripple effect.
Right.
It differentiates the business, and it makes it
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you love this podcast or this conversation around culture marketing and the impact for your organization. We encourage you, if you have any questions and you want to know more, learn more about this, you can always check out culturegood.com. That's where you'll find myself, Ryan, and connect with Ryan as well. If you're looking for keynote speakers, workshops,
do those things.
Looking to have emerging leaders and leadership. We also have that on the platform. Check out below culturegood.com.
Oh, there was. Well, there's George. It's
like
I'm
more.
looking at the screen, and then I'm like, "Where's George at?"
Learn more. Learn more.
All right. Of course, like always, thank you for being here. We will see you back next week on Champion Your Culture. Thank you for tuning in to Champion Your Culture. We hope today's episode has sparked new ideas and inspiration for your journey in leadership and cultural development.
Building a culture good is a collective effort. If you found value in conversations today, please subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on your favorite platform and share this episode with your friends and colleagues.
Your support helps us reach more people and spread the message of impactful leadership and positive cultural change. Don't forget to visit cultureofgood.com to explore how you can become a certified culture champion.
Every week, we're here to bring you insights and strategies that matter. So join us again for more empowering discussions. Let's continue to champion a culture of purpose and passion together.
Until next time, keep leading with heart, and let's make a positive difference in the world. And we'll see you next week on Champion Your Culture.